Hey everyone, what's up? How's it going? My name's Antonio, and today we're going to be talking about fan films. More specifically, two fan films I consider to be some of the best Batman fan films ever put out. Now, this was originally a Spider-Man video, but that video turned out to be way too long and complicated to make in the time frame that I wanted to make it in. So we're going to save that video for my spring break, which is in 2 weeks. So still expect that one. It is going to be a little bit long, probably clocking in at around 35 minutes, but I think it's going to be great. Anyways, let's get back on track to the actual video. Now, in 2003, Batman was kind of in a weird spot because his last film, Batman and Robin, did not do too hot. Nobody really liked it. Everyone hated it. They thought it was too campy, too cheesy. I think it's bad, but I actually like Batman Forever a lot, so maybe I'll make a video about that someday. But all these different things combined kind of made it an awkward spot for Batman in media. Despite all of this kind of awkwardness, though, surrounding the character, one director really wanted to do something with him and make a short film, which is what we're going to be discussing today in Batman Dead End. We're also going to be discussing World's Finest, which is a sequel, I think, to Dead End, and it's made by the same guy, Sandy Carolla, who, directed the both of these. I think they're wonderful films. I'm not sure how to talk about these because I came across them and I thought they were just wonderful. There's so much to love about these, and I honestly really hope that Sandy gets to do something actually related to WB in the future, because I think that he had a great vision and it comes across amazingly in these films. Batman Dead End starts with the best way to start a Batman movie, in my opinion, which is a suit-up scene. I'm not a huge fan of the Tim Burton movies for some of its more inaccurate decisions, but I will always love the suit-up scenes that they have Michael Keaton do, and even in the Joel Schumacher films, I still love the suit-up scenes. Even if they do seem a little bit more weird, I still appreciate them a lot. I love them. I love suit-up scenes in any movie. I think just seeing superheroes put on their suits is just so damn cool. Speaking of suits, let's talk about the suit in both of these, but for now, we'll just talk about the Batman Dead End suit, which I think is perfect. I think it is a perfect representation of Batman. I'm not a huge fan of a lot of Batman designs. In fact, this is currently my favorite one. I am biased though, so I'm not saying that is better than the Dead End suit. The Dead End suit is perfect. It was very heavily inspired by Alex Ross, who, if you don't know, was like a comic book legend, and I think they perfectly translated his artwork here. You almost can't tell the difference between his artwork and the actual guy. You know, you would think that Alex drew and painted after this guy because of how good and accurate it looks. And besides just like the cowl, which I think is the best Batman cowl, besides just the perfect suit and the logo, I actually think that the actor fills this suit out perfectly. Perfect Batman build, in my opinion. He is buff, but he doesn't look like fat or anything. I felt like with the Ben Affleck suits, he can look a little bit fat, especially with the neck. No, this guy looks buff, intimidating. The cape is really cool, so they used two different capes, one for dramatic effect that was bigger, and they used a thinner one for when he is in action and he's fighting people and doing all this crazy stuff that having a long cape would be inconvenient for. After one of my favorite shots from either of these films, we get to meet the Joker, who I feel a little bit 50-50 on. I don't think that he's perfect, but I don't really have too much to complain about. You know, on one hand, I actually really like a lot of the things. I like that he's wearing like a jumpsuit, implying that he just came from Arkham. I like his hair a lot. I think it looks really good. I like his lip makeup. Where it gets fuzzy for me is his eyebrows. His eyebrows kind of look like two centipedes crawled on his face and then died, and they just stayed there for the rest of his life. But I can't be too mad. The actor does a fantastic job with the Joker in this film. I genuinely love it. I love his performance. So, besides the eyebrows, I think this is a really good adaptation of Joker. Though I will say, in the behind the scenes video, which is linked in the description of this video, they show him getting the makeup put on, and without like the fuzzy eyebrows, this Joker design is like perfect. I think it looks great. So I kind of wish they did that, but again, I can't complain too much because of how well the actor plays the character. You overlook it over time. After we get introduced to the Joker, we get Batman, who finally catches up to the Joker after chasing him for a little bit. And I actually really like their dialogue. It reminds me a lot of The Killing Joke in more ways than one. Number one, it's raining outside, just like at the end of The Killing Joke. They both reference their past and like what made them in this really awesome scene.
We both wear masks.
Look at my face.
This is who I am.
You made your choice a long time ago, Joker.
No! You did this to me, and you condemned me to that asylum like some bastard child that you refused to take responsibility for! That's why you'll never kill me, Bats. You made me.
And criminal scum like you made me.
I mean, it's just great. This feels very Killing Joke-y to me. I'm not a huge Killing Joke fan, but still, I appreciate how cool this feels. Though I will say that Joker does call Batman Daddy, so do with that as you will.
Daddy!
I'm gonna make it my ringtone, but hey, you didn't hear that from me. This is where the short film takes a turn for... How do I put this? The Joker gets kidnapped by Alien. That's right, Xenomorph from the Alien franchise. He shows up and like picks up Joker, I assume to kill him. He doesn't show up for the rest of the film, which was definitely not what I was expecting when I was watching this for the first time. And I was kind of, taken aback, but I think as the story develops, I appreciate it a lot more. Also, another thing to note is that this Xenomorph and this unnamed character who's about to show up are both very extravagant costumes and like robots and stuff that were made in-house. They had a $30,000 budget for this film, and I think that they used it to its very, peak. You know what I mean? The effects, the suits, everything in this film looks amazing. After Batman brawls with Xenomorph, we get our first look at Predator, the unnamed character from before. And again, I just want to reiterate how cool it is that these are all in-house made costumes. I mean, in the behind-the-scenes video, you see people painting the Predator costume, and I think it's just fantastic. So much passion went into this from the director, from these set designers, oh, my TV turned off. I couldn't get it to go on the same scene, so please ignore the change in the background. I think it's just fantastic how much passion and dedication went into this. Again, especially on a $30,000 budget, with how extravagant they get with some of the animatronics, it's really cool. Now, after the Predator is introduced, there's not too much story development or anything. They pretty much fight for a bit, and I think that this is a great fight scene. It feels very visceral. It's a lot of hand-to-hand combat. The director said that he didn't want them to feel like they were flying on wires, which I think is reasonable. I think that this fight feels very grounded and cool, and I just love it a lot. Overall, it's cool, beautifully shot. I love the cinematography in Dead End. Great costumes and set design and everything. A great atmosphere. Everything's perfect, and I hope that World's Finest lives up to this. Now, World's Finest is a lot shorter than Dead End, with Dead End being about 9 minutes and this being about 4:03. Now, quickly, I just want to go back to that costume design thing because, oh boy, it takes a huge step in this movie. Now, of course, we're going to talk about the biggest thing that they added. Besides Batman, he's exactly the same. Superman, who I think is, again, just Alex Ross, just ripped straight out of the comics. Superman is perfect. This is basically just the Christopher Reeve suit with a little bit of a bigger logo. But I love it. I think it works great. And again, just like Batman, this actor fills out the suit very well and reminds me a lot of Alex Ross Superman. That's the obvious two of Batman and Superman. We do have a lot of interesting choices that they made. Like, for example, Lex Luthor, who they give the comic accurate, big metal, mech suit. And it works amazing in this film. I did not think that this suit would ever, make its way to the screen or anything. I was, very worried that it was going to look cheesy because I knew that it was going to be in this film because I heard somebody say it. But I think it looks great. The crew's dedication to making sure that everything feels authentic to the comics is so cool because it doesn't feel like they're trying to do something different with the books or trying to advance the characters. They're just ripping them straight out of the page, and I love that. Besides Lex in that mech suit, we do have him in a normal suit, which I think is fine. I think the actor is pretty good. But I do want to talk about Two-Face. Now, Two-Face is a little bit underwhelming for me, and I don't know if they made him this way because of budget reasons, but he could have used more special effects on his half face. It kind of just looks like a normal guy whose face got ripped up. I think it would have been really cool if they went something very drastic with the colors. They went something crazy with Joker, with the vibrant colors, Lex Luthor, and I think they could have gone out a little bit more on Two-Face, maybe give him a purple, pinkish hint, but it's just kind of like flesh that's a little bit ripped apart, which I think is a little underwhelming, but the actor does great, so who cares? I forgot to mention this in the Batman Dead End part of this video, but I think that the Batman design in these short films is proof that Batman can have a campy, classic design without it sacrificing tone. In Batman Dead End, they don't sacrifice the tone just because of how Batman looks. They use it to their advantage with his long cape and his cowl, which leaves a very menacing silhouette. Oh, and by the way, Batman and Superman should have the underwear in their next film debut. I don't care what you have to say. Now, as for the plot, it's kind of simple. Now, this short film is shot like it's a trailer for something, even though it's not. But I will go over the plot points that were given and give my opinion on them. First off, we have a running theme in Batman-Superman team-ups, which is Lex Luthor running for president. We see a few scenes of this, and I think it's interesting. I think that it reminds me a lot of Batman and Superman Public Enemies, which is an animated film that I actually like a lot. But yeah, that's what's going on with Lex. Two-Face, I think, is supposed to be employed by Lex Luthor, but Two-Face has a weird vendetta against Superman in this film, going as far as to kidnap Lois Lane. So I would kind of like to know why. I want to, what does Two-Face have against Superman? It's so weird. Though Two-Face having something against Superman is what brings Batman and Superman together, which I think is great. The music isn't as cool as Dead End, but it is very trailer-ish and epic, so I don't mind. This movie does, however, take advantage of the cinematography. I love this one, maybe a little bit more than Dead End. I love Superman. I love the warm colors that accompany Superman. I love the cool purple that accompanies Batman. It's so cool. I love it, and I think that it just looks great. Now, I do want to talk about the fact that some of the more extravagant effects that they're trying to reach, like Superman flying or them jumping around, they do come across a little bit cheaper than they did in Dead End, but I think that that's just due to like a lower budget, which I think is unfortunate. I think if they had enough money, that they could have made something like their magnum opus of Batman short films. But I think with what they were given, they did an amazing job. I mean, I like the 1994 Fantastic Four film, which has kind of a similar thing going on, so, maybe I just like low-budget superhero movies. I think despite some of the issues with these two films, I think that their passion radiates through the screen, and I love them. Plus, Jimmy Olsen is in World's Finest, which makes it peak fiction. I love Jimmy Olsen. These are massively underrated short films in my opinion, so if you're interested in watching them, I think it's worth your time. Batman Dead End is only about 9 minutes, World's Finest is about 3, and if you want to watch the behind the scenes video, which I encourage you to do, that's about 14 minutes, so, just scroll through them. I did, and I love them all. There will be links to the films and the behind the scenes in the description below, along with the links to my social media. So if you've enjoyed this video, like it, and if you enjoyed me, then, subscribe too. Stay safe, stay cool, and I'll see you all next time. Bye.